How many times has this happened to you?
We don't call them hydrometers for nothing. Let's see just how hard it is to break a hydrometer.
But to make things a little more interesting, we're gonna add in the Herculometer. The fine folks at Northern Brewer sent us not only a bunch of hydrometers, but Herculometers, and we're gonna put them to the test.
They call this the unbreakable hydrometer. Let's find out just how unbreakable it really is.
We have a little box here with a camera on the side to catch the landing. Inside is a concrete patio block. Brian will drop a regular hydrometer from 1 foot and then a Herculometer.
So for the first test, I'm going to take a Herculometer and I'm going to drop it from about 1 foot onto that patio block. That's about there. 1, 2, 3. It didn't break. Didn't even scratch it. It actually looks like it's in perfect condition still. So we'll probably use this one for the next test. So next up we have the glass hydrometer, the standard, the one that everybody uses, loves, and hates, the one that I say, don't buy one, buy 3. 1 to put somewhere where you'll forget and you don't even know you have it anymore, 1 to break and 1 to use. Measure out 1 foot here. That's about there. It's within an inch. I mean, you know, this isn't exactly scientific. We're breaking stuff, you know? And 1, 2, 3. Well, that answers that. 1 foot. Boom, done. Okay, so it broke at 1 foot. So we already know it's going to break at 3 feet, but I like breaking things, and you probably like seeing footage of things being broken. So gratuitous breakage footage, we're going to put this at 3 feet now. That's about right there. And I'm going to drop this from 3 feet. I'm going to look away though, because the little balls go everywhere, and I really don't want those in my eyes. Plus, it's glass. So if you decide to do this at home, but please don't do this at home, if you decide to do this at home, wear eye protection. 1, 2, 3. Shocker, it broke.
Clean up.
All right, so it's time for the Herculometer. I'm gonna have Derica measure out 3 feet for me because I only have 2 hands. Right about there. So I'm not sure about this one. I don't know if this will break or not. It's kind of a 50-50 shot. You know, it's either going to or it's not, right? I know, clever. But here we go. 1, 2, 3.
It's fine, isn't it?
It's perfectly fine. It actually, like, it hit so perfectly on the end of the molded plastic, not a scratch.
It bounces.
It bounced out of the box. You probably saw that. All right, time for the next test. On to the next test. That is the 6 foot drop of the Herculometer. Actually, no, 6 foot drop of the hydrometer. This is the glass one. 6 feet should be somewhere around there. Just a guess.
It's up.
Right there. Okay. So it's pretty much as high as I can reach. 1, 2, 3. That sound is awesome. All right, we need a little cleanup.
Clean up.
Okay. That means it's up to the Herculometer. Just hold it as high as I can. Aimed roughly over the same spot. 1, 2, 3. It still didn't break. There's a tiny scratch on the side of it now, though, from where it bounced. It hit the camera. Wow, that's pretty amazing. I'm gonna do one more 6 foot drop though. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's amazing. They really did make, I mean, any normal usage, that's what's gonna happen, right? So, you know what that means, right? We have to step it up a notch. Okay, so I didn't really think 6 feet was gonna work. So we now have an 8 foot, And let's just see if it breaks at 8 feet. If not, we'll have to break out the big ladder. So 8 feet's about as high as I can hold it logistically, reasonably, whatever you want to say. 1, 2, 3. You gotta be kidding me. It's not breaking. It really isn't breaking. There's barely even a scratch on it. That is really impressive. I'm actually really surprised. I thought for sure that it would crack that end. So guess we have to get out the big ladder and see if we can break this thing. Okay, so Derek is measuring off the ladder now to see just how far that is. I'm hoping for 12 to 15 feet.
10 feet is right here.
10 feet's right there. That means I can probably reach a little past 10 feet. We'll give that a try. Okay, I got 11 feet right here. That means if I extend all, it's almost 12 feet maximum reach. That's as much as I dare go. Since there's pretty much no point in ruining another glass hydrometer from up here, I'm not gonna bother. Instead, we're just gonna see if we can break the Herculometer. So let me get it into position here. We're talking 12 feet. Okay, 1, 2, 3. I don't think it broke.
No.
It still didn't break. I think I need to do that again. 1, 2, 3. That is unbelievable.
Personally, I think if we keep at this, we're more than likely gonna break our secondary camera before we break the Herculometer.
Yeah, and I don't want to do that. We just got the new one that we're recording on, but that's still a really good camera.
So what are we gonna do now? Well, it's hammer time.
Okay, the Herculometer survived 1 foot, 3 foot, 6 feet, and a 12-foot drop. But let's find out if it'll survive the hammer. So as you can see, we have a brick in here with it placed at an angle. And now, in my opinion, there's 2 different ways to hit this. I can hit the top portion or the bottom portion. I may do both. I have a couple of Herculometers here, so if I break one, I have another. 1, 2, 3. Hey, I actually damaged it. So that's what happens when you hit it with a hammer. It didn't break so much as bend, but it's probably not all that accurate anymore. Let's see what happens if I hit the other side. Okay, so this time I just kind of have it laying on its side, and I'm just gonna, hit it. Oh, actually, I have a better idea. We don't need to hit it with a hammer. We have a brick. Are we ready? Gotta make sure that the slow-mo cam is running. 1, 2, 3.
I think you hurt the brick.
I heard something. It's interesting. All the little glue stuff inside seems to have smashed. And right there, there's damage. But broken? I wouldn't say this is broken. Not yet. When in doubt, hit it with a hammer. Although, I have to move it a little bit. I can get a good swing. You gotta be kidding me. Do you know how hard this thing is to break? Okay, it's totally deformed and the lead weights have now moved around in there. Broken? Hard to say if that's broken. Not usable anymore? Most definitely. So, the Herculometer, it really is pretty much unbreakable.
Okay, so there's something I want to point out that we may have not made clear, and that was, of course, we used a different hydrometer each time because we kept breaking them. But we used the same Herculometer each time because it wasn't breaking. So that means it built up its shock absorbency or whatever. If there was any fractures, anything in there inherent from the very beginning test, those compounded as we kept testing it. So that makes this test even more unbelievable.
I have to really hand it to Northern Brewer. It is an unbreakable hydrometer. I did not think it was going to. I thought for sure at 3 or 6 feet it's going to crack, or I'm sure if I dropped it 100 times, it might. Really cool test. And I just want to give a huge thank you to Northern Brewer for sending us a whole bunch of them. When I told them what I wanted to do, they're like, that's a cool idea here. And they sent us a pile of hydrometers. We only used some of them. So, hey, that means I have extras for when I drop mine in the kitchen on the tile floor, because it happens all the time. Those Herculometers, though, we'll have those for years, because unless you hit it with a hammer, it's not going to break. And I had to hit it several times. But anyway, as always, guys, thanks so much for watching and have a great day.
Bye-bye. Okay, so there's something I want to point out that we might have not made very clear, and that was we made a new test of the...
That's a great blooper, except that I have to beep everything out.